Hello everyone, good afternoon. How are you all? कैसे हो सभी? All good? Welcome to PLUTUS IAS. My name is Mohit and I help you decode current affairs for UPSC examinations where we don't pick up some random topics but we analyze what, why, when and how of UPSC relevant current affairs. And this series is specifically designed for those aspirants who are facing trouble while reading newspaper, or for those of our friends who have reached up to a stage like they have cleared prelims, but they are finding it difficult to get fodder from the newspaper and write it down into the mains examination, and also for our working professionals who face difficulty in reading newspaper. So please take a note that from Monday to Friday we appear live on YouTube at 11 a.m., 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. and on Saturdays from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. because on Saturday we do a weekly compilation of all the current affairs so that you get an idea that how to tackle these current affairs. Fine. Before moving forward in the Know Your Educator section, some information regarding me and a good thought of the day. क्या कहता है आज का good thought? If you don't fight for what you want, then don't cry for what you lose. या फिर आप क्या खो चुके हो? मैम ध्यान दीजिए. ठीक है, क्या मतलब है इसका? कोई समझा सकता है? If you don't fight for what you want, then don't cry for what you have lost. क्या मतलब है इसका? हिंदी ट्रांसलेशन, गुड. लोटस में हिंदी ट्रांसलेटर का जवाब आपको मिल सकता है. इसका मतलब यही है कि दैट जो आपके पास जब अभी है, जो आपके पास चांस है, इट इज योर कैरेक्टर which defines your attempt at anything, be it UPSC, be it life. तो value the time. समय का सही सदुपयोग कीजिए. जब समय बीत जाएगा उसके बाद उसके ऊपर पछतावा करना. हिंदी प्रोवर्ब, जब पछतात होत क्या, जब चिड़िया चुग गई खेत. उसी प्रकार से you have to focus on these things, that when you have the time, when the time is right, strike it. Okay, but when the time will pass, you would say टीचर ने नहीं पढ़ाया, कोचिंग की ये दिक्कत थी. बट स्पेशली आपको अपने ऊपर भी ध्यान देना है. बट यू आर डूइंग, सबसे पहले अपने आप को ठीक कीजिए. व्हाट इज डिफरेंस बिटवीन कैरेक्टर एंड रेपुटेशन? डिफरेंस बिटवीन कैरेक्टर एंड रेपुटेशन. कैरेक्टर एंड रेपुटेशन काफी सिमिलर साउंड कर रहे होंगे. Perfect. Character is how you see yourself. Reputation is how others see you from outside. तो build character. Reputation तो उस चांदी के खाने की तरह है, जितना अच्छा बना लो पड़ोसी और आपके रिलेटिव्स खराब ही बताएंगे उसको. Reputation is similarly like that only. कितना अच्छा कर लो आप, कुछ भी कर लो, रेपुटेशन लोगों के हाथ में, बट कैरेक्टर आपके हाथ में. मेंटेन योर कैरेक्टर. जब तक टाइम है उसको कैरेक्टर को बिल्ड करो ताकि वो आगे सक्सेसफुल तरीके से आपको दिखे. फाइन. Now we will see today's topic. क्या हम टॉपिक कवर करने वाले हैं? So first of all, have you heard about USAID? USAID, it is an organization of United States. गवर्नमेंट एजेंसी है जो कि हेल्प करता है डेवलपिंग और पुअर कंट्रीज को in the terms of health, renewable energy and all. Fine. Now Mr. Donald Trump has said that they will cut the funding. Now India is a receiver of USAID. So now how India would be impacted? What are the terminologies that we must focus on from the perspective of prelims and mains? We would be looking upon that. Fine. Then Pashu Aushadhi initiative. Have you heard about it? Like Jan Aushadhi for humans, we have Pashu Aushadhi initiative for animals. So now we have to focus on like who have brought it out, which organization or which ministries are involved in it, which animals or which kettles type of, you can take a look on that. Breeds पे आप ध्यान दे सकते हैं. Different sort of breeds of animals. उनके diseases से आप ध्यान रख सकते हैं. Like foot and mouth diseases, cowpox, lumpy skin. Then we have a special breed, Ongole cattle. Have you heard about Ongole cattle? While discussing about that Jallikattu, I've told you about the different species of cattle in India which are very much famous, and Ongole was not among the Jallikattu, because it is a heavy bull used for its power. Now it is an indigenous breed of India, but Brazilian countries are having, means Brazil are having high number of Ongole bulls, even than India. It is a cause of concern that when foreign countries are focusing so much on the indigenous breed of India, why the India could not work upon it? So we would be focusing upon the Ongole bull, how it is important, and has UPSC asked such questions in previous year? We would be looking upon that. Fine. Then a physics question, science behind cricket ball swing. Just like we saw that pressure cooker की सीटी कैसे बजती है, UPSC has asked that. UPSC has asked about piezoelectric effect. So why not about Bernoulli or Magnus effect? Bernoulli effect or Magnus effect? Magnus effect किस लिए होता है? Magnus effect. Have you heard about Magnus effect? Magnus effect is about a spinning of anything. किस तरीके से spin करेगा? Bernoulli is helping in swinging. Swinging and spinning is both different. I suppose you know that. Spinning and swinging. ठीक है? स्पिन करोगे आप कैसे करोगे? गोल गोल करोगे, और स्विंग करोगे तो ऐसे। ठीक है, बचपन में झूला झूला ही होगा, अभी भी झूलते होंगे कुछ लोग तो। Then we will see mainstreaming wetland conservation. Why and how wetlands are so much important for our biodiversity? Why they are in news? What is Montrex record? Have you heard about Montrex record? Those wetlands which are in danger are kept in the Montrex records. So everything associated with wetlands, it is not feasible or it is not advisable also to learn all the 80-85 wetlands, but keep a track of new wetlands that are added into the list. Fine. ठीक है, तो how they are in danger, what steps should be taken, what is Ramsar Convention, and what India is following. Then we have Einstein ring. Have you heard about Einstein ring? क्या होता है Einstein ring? मतलब lensing. Fine. Gravitational lensing. So what is gravitational lensing? That there is a phenomena in the space that due to gravitation of bigger bodies, light bends. And when light bends towards the edges of anything, it appears that they are closer to us, so that we can observe the distant galaxies. So that is gravitational lensing. It is related with Einstein's theory of relativity. So we would be just hovering around these concepts and knowing that why this is in news, and UPSC has asked such things like singularity and different things. Event horizon recently seen in news is associated with which of the following? So we must take a note of such terminologies that are coming into the news. Fine. Then we would be focusing on legacy of Amir Khusro, a 13th century poet scholar whose like birth anniversary or a program was conducted where PM Modi also went, and he praised about the Sufi and the Sufism or Bhaktism ka jo ek milan hai, and integrated of both these movements. He praised that. So we would be focusing on Amir Khusro. Like, what was his creations? What were his main creations? Do you know? Amir Khusro ने क्या लिखा था? नूसिफर. नूसिफर किसने लिखा था? नूसिफर. Who wrote Nucifer? आमिर खुसरो ने तो लिखा था. हाँ बिल्कुल. तो he was contemporary to whom? Alauddin Khilji and many more. Almost it is said that he was contemporary to 8 sultans of Delhi Sultanate. 5 are for sure, but it is said that he was contemporary to 8 sultans of Delhi Sultanate. So we would be talking about him, like he invented sitar and tabla. It is supposedly said that he invented sitar and tabla. Veena was invented by Samudragupta. It is said that Samudragupta played Veena on the coins. Fine. Then we will be focusing upon a terrorist organization called by US and European Union. We have earlier seen the M23 rebels, which are in Democratic Republic of Congo. Now this is PKK. Kurdistan के political party जो है, it is being in news about. ठीक है, तो कैसे किस रीजन में एक्टिव हैं? ईरान, सीरिया, इराक, इजिप्ट, उस एरिया में. So we would be focusing upon that because UPSC has been asking about the such rebellions and such terrorist groups like PKK seen in recently in news, M23 recently seen in news, belongs to which of the following categories? So we must be covering these categories. Moving forward, we would be talking about gangetic dolphin. Gangetic dolphin हमारी national aquatic animal है. Is it a mammal? Is it a whale? Dolphin is a whale. Dolphin is a whale. फाइन. सो गैंगेटिक डॉल्फिन कहाँ कहाँ मिलती है हमें, कौन से स्टेट्स में मिलती हैं? हाँ जी, कुछ पूछ रहे हो, बता रहे हो? ओके. उत्तर प्रदेश, बिहार. फाइन. So first time a survey was conducted regarding gangetic dolphins. So we have to look upon it that this need to be catered regularly, like 4 years में होना चाहिए ये. Almost first time हमने इनको calculate किया था अच्छे से, तो around 6,247,6,000 I guess देखेंगे उसको. तो उसमें से 3 जो डॉल्फिन है, they were Indus Valley dolphins. तो Indus Valley dolphins हमें ब्यास नदी में मिलती हैं. ठीक है, ये चीजें ध्यान रखनी है. We would be focusing upon that which questions came into the prelims examination and what are things that to be noted. Fine. How do they, the Gangetic dolphins are blind, is it true or false? Then how do they hunt echolocation using sonar technology? Fine. So we would be focusing upon these things. Then we have seen that now moon landings are not just a government affair, private moon landings are also being done. We have seen a blue ghost, like this mission was sent by NASA. So now we should utilize this opportunity to take a look on which such missions of private moon landings are being announced and which of the missions should be covered from the perspective of prelims examination. We would be covering that. Only the name of missions and country would be the goal of our this exercise. Then what is solar maximum? What is solar maximum? Why there is an increase in the density of solar missions being sent to the space? Why is the right time? अभी क्यों भेजे जा रहे हैं इतने सारे सोलर मिशन? आदित्य L1, उसके अलावा ठीक है, और solar cycle. Solar cycle repeats itself after 11 years. Now this is solar maximum period. Means we would be able to analyze that at solar maximum how the solar flares behave. Then there would be magnetic reversal after 11 years, 2035, 2036. So we would not be able to analyze the features which we are seeing today. So that's why moon missions are going, and we must analyze this news so that we can take a look on all such missions. Then we have Wallace line. What is Wallace line? Good. So is it a defined line? It is an imaginary line. It is not, right? Discovered by Alfred Wallace in 19th century. Yes, fine. So we would be talking about that. What is this line? How the species of Australia cannot migrate to Asia with a just 20-kilometer border? How they are not able to cross that border? What are the reasons they are having? Yes, ma'am. बताना चाहते हो कुछ? ठीक है. Then toward the last, we will see the Israel-Palestinian issue. Now they are going towards a ceasefire. So Israel-Palestine issue must be analyzed, and there we have a Cairo declaration. When the Trump said that all the Arab nations must absorb the Palestinians to their respective countries and they would redevelop Gaza. But the Arab states have come to forward and they are saying that we are not going to absorb, but we will develop the Gaza with Palestinians there only, and Israel must come with us and they should have agreement with us. Cairo declaration would be in news. Yes, ma'am. Any doubt? खुश रहो. जब आपके चेहरे पे ऐसे होते हैं ना, ऐसे, मुझे लगता है कोई डाउट है. स्माइल. ठीक है. जब कोई डाउट है तो हाथ खड़ा कीजिए, पूछिए दैट यस डाउटफुल है, या कुछ सर कुछ गलत बता रहे हो आप, बता दो, सही कर दो इसको. तो Cairo declaration is new. What is Oslo Accords? What are Arab peace initiatives? UPSC has already asked it, so we must keep a track of these. Fine. Index clear hai? Any doubt? Delimitation was very much in news. We have already covered it 3 times in past 3 months. So please cover it from daily current affairs. No need to cover it again and again in the weekly. Fine. So let's start with the first news. So what is USAID? What is USAID and its impact on development in India? So it is United States Agency for, लिखा हुआ है, बोलो, international development. Means US is like that ठेकेदार जिसने सबका ठेका ले रखा है. Just like Britain in the colonial period. कुछ भी होगा, हाँ मैं हूँ. Britain will come forward. Now it is same with USA. पैलेस्टीन में इशू है, हम जाएंगे. ग्रीनलैंड लेना है, हमें लेना है. मैक्सिको का नाम बदल देना है, उसका भी नाम बदल देंगे. तो दे आर गोइंग टू डिफरेंट प्लेसेस एंड सो उनकी आदत पुरानी है. Since the World War II, when the other nations were weak, it was chance for US to develop, and that's why it became a very powerful country after the World War II. So the USAID is a key contributor in the field of environment, health, infra projects among different countries. And since 2001, USAID has almost given almost $3 billion aid to India through official development assistance. Now, this term is important. A term would come in the prelims paper, official development assistance, recently seen in news, is related with which agency? There would be 4 agencies, WHO, UN का यूनेस्को कर देंगे, यूनिसेफ कर देंगे, and there will be USAID. फाइन, तो ऐसे करके जैसे IMF के ऊपर क्वेश्चन आया था, रिवर्स ट्रांसपोजिशन, रिसेंटली सीन इन न्यूज इज रिलेटेड टू विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इंस्टीट्यूशंस. तो इसलिए ये टर्म इंपॉर्टेंट है पहले तो फ्रॉम द पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ प्रीलिम्स, एंड फ्रॉम द पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ मेंस देयर इज अ क्वेश्चन इन द मेंस एग्जामिनेशन इन GS2 that how these non-governmental or the extra governmental means India से बाहर की एजेंसीज are working for the benefit of country in India. तो वहां पे आप USAID के बारे में लिख सकते हैं that it has a very good contribution. In 24 years, it has contributed almost $3 billion. Fine. Now, a recent US executive action on January 20 had said that they would gradually cut off these aids to developing countries who are कहने के लिए developing है, but they are more of बस नाम के developing. Well, India, China, with these countries, and they will save the money for their own people because their vision is let's make America great again. Fine. Now Supreme Court जो वहां का फेडरल कोर्ट है, it has called a stay over it that आप एकदम से इंस्टेंट मत कीजिए इसको. We would be analyzing it that किसको जाना चाहिए किसको नहीं जाना चाहिए. तो Supreme Court has come forward. We have already done USAID once more, but now a more depth में कि इंडिया को कौन से मिशंस ये फॉलो करवा रहे हैं, which of the missions are involved in this. Now what is USAID? It is a simply United States Agency of International Development. First of all, we must be aware about the full form of this. Now it helps into the international aid agency. It funds the projects in healthcare, education, environment, means all the welfare activities it is taking care of. क्वेश्चन पूछा जाए केवल एजुकेशन केवल इंफ्रा, गलत होगा, डाइवर्स इसकी एक्टिविटीज है. India's key sector supported by USAID, first of all, if we talk about health and population, it is focusing on TB, HIV, AIDS. These are the major diseases which are it's working for. In the water and sanitation thing, clean drinking and water projects, means here also diverse चीजें हैं. Health हो, water, energy, technology, holistic coverage कर रहा है. Important is specific programs. UPSC can ask you these things also, like Momentum 3B, Rise, TEREP, recently seen in news, are work of which agency in India? So this must be revised again and again so that you take a note of these things. Now in the health and population, we have a Momentum 3B mission. Means these things are not important. कि कितना million दिया, क्या हुआ, just for your reference that aid है. Important है उसके keywords. Keywords should be the focus, should be the main thing that you must be focusing upon. This is the data. When you are done with these keywords, you must focus on the data so that you can have a help in the main answers. First step is analyzing the news, relating it with a newspaper and PYQs. When you are done with this, go more forward, remember the names, in which sector, which schemes are there, which projects are being run. Fine. Like स्टार प्रोजेक्ट जो है वर्ल्ड बैंक का है, ऐसे करके पूछो, यूपीएससी ने ये भी पूछा है. तो उसमें वी हैव रीचिंग इम्पैक्ट एंड एपिडेमिक कंट्रोल, राइज प्रोग्राम विच इज रिलेटेड टू HIV इन्फेक्शन को रिड्यूस करना, ब्रेकिंग द बैरियर्स इन TB. यू कैन नॉट रिमेंबर ऑल ऑफ दीज, बट एक सेंस होना चाहिए, 4 नाम में से एक भी याद रह जाए, राइज याद रह जाए तो वो ग्रुप में आएगा. यूपीएससी इज ऑल्सो लिबरल इन दिस. एक टर्म से नहीं पूछेगा, 3-4 टर्म देगा, एक भी याद रह जाएगा, यू वुड बी एबल टू सॉल्व द क्वेश्चन. वाटर एंड सैनिटेशन में सुवासी प्रोग्राम, दिस इज इंपॉर्टेंट. सुवासी प्रोग्राम, sustainable sanitation and safe drinking water. In environment, cleaner air and better health, means air pollution पे काम कर रहा है. Fine. Then we have South Asia Regional Energy Partnership. This is important. Moving towards sustainable energy. Only the terms should be taken care of. Fine. Then in technology, we have, this is important, ORAN. ORAN is important for science and technology also. Open radio access networks, means giving communication to those far areas which don't have proper satellite or proper lines for communication. Fine. It is also helping in that for securing 5G platforms in such areas. impact on India, agar ye jo funding hai, if it is reduced, what would be the impact on India? Important for mains. Like what a scheme which is running on, and if it is abandoned, if it is cancelled, what impacts it could lead to India? Means now you can replace this with a country or with a sector. फाइन. अगर मैं पूछूं कि समग्र शिक्षा अभियान का अगर तमिलनाडु से एक्सेस ले लिया गया, इफ तमिलनाडु इज नॉट गेटिंग द एक्सेस ऑफ समग्र शिक्षा अभियान, what would be the implication? Structure would remain the same. Now here we are talking about the whole holistic level structure, like impact on India in the health sector means the जहां जहां significance था there would be challenges. HIV AIDS जो हमारा targets हैं, we would not be able to reach to those targets. Fine. In the states like Karnataka, Bihar, which are already poor financially, would not be able to focus on these things, because if we are poor, first we focus on the three basic necessities: roti, kapda, makan, clothing, food, and shelter. But if we are having an extra aid, then we can focus on other things. Now, if we are not having extra aid from these agencies, what would be the cause? What would be the case? That we would not be having proper funds for dealing with such factors. Like we had a target of reducing TB by 2025 earlier than the global target of 2030, but we have failed that. Although we are able to reduce the burden, but we are still not able to keep it very less. Then in environment and energy, we have a target of reaching net zero by 2070. If we are not having the aid from such agencies, what would happen? Our target would be already missed then. Fine. So these targets would not be met. Air quality, we already know the AQI system in India, in Delhi also. Jab 200 hota hai, we are happy. But it is also a very bad situation. Then in technology and trade, if these activities are not done, then we would not be getting the 5G technology. And if in today's date, data is the new oil. If we have the data, we have the edge. And if we lag behind in such situations, then we would not be able to move on to the better platforms. AI कैसे करेंगे हम? ठीक है? All things are dependent on each other. And finally, overall impact, loss of critical funding will be burden on India's domestic budget. India के domestic budget को would be focusing more on these things. ठीक है? Overall impact. Way forward. Now, in such situations, what is the way forward? Ministry of External Affairs and Prime Minister should go to them, and that's why we are going to them and interacting with them. First of all, if you have a fight with your friend, would you go to the outside person or would you go directly to your friend, a close friend? You would go to the friend. Diplomatic relations. First, you will go to your friend and बोले कि ठीक है भाई, हो गया, हो जाता है, let's solve it. Fine. So diplomatic relations strengthen the India-US ties to retain the key funding areas, reinstate, and also alternative partnerships. Close friends के friends. ऐसा हो गया, please help us. Fine. EU है, Japan, Germany है. Then we can also, अगर वो दोस्त नहीं मानता, so we can diversify our wants, our needs. ठीक है? Promote public-private partnership. We can talk with the other agencies, other countries which are developed countries. We can talk with them. Fine, we can have help from them, and also we can have the funds from the multilateral agencies. नहीं हो रहा कहीं से मदद, पैसे नहीं मिल रहे हैं तो कहाँ जाएंगे? मम्मी पापा के पास जाएंगे. वर्ल्ड बैंक जो पूरे देश को, दुनिया को संभाल रहे हैं, we would be going on them. IMF, World Bank, so that they can have help them. Government self reliance. जब ऐसा हो जाता है कोई मदद नहीं कर रहा, फिर क्या करता हूँ? मैं ही नौकरी कर लेता हूँ, मैं ही थोड़ा ज्यादा कर लेता हूँ, आत्मनिर्भर बन जाता हूँ, सेल्फ रिलायंस बन जाता हूँ, so that I can take care of my needs on my own. Fine. Domestic funding for health, education. We can have more number of research and development in our country itself, like we are having in the space sector. This must be replicated into all other sectors as well. If the people from outside are coming to our country for having cheaper medical attention, like medical tourism के लिए India famous है काफी, so we must do that from a global scale. हमें अच्छा करना चाहिए उसको. So these must be the way forward. Please solve this question of prelims, then we will see the mains question. USAID is correct. It is a UN agency. These small things would be confusing. Now you have read. अभी खाना गरम गरम है, अच्छा लग रहा है. जब ठंडा होगा तब दुख देगा. रिवाइज करना इंपॉर्टेंट है. वहां पे नहीं ध्यान रहेगा. ये क्वेश्चन आया था मदर टंग के ऊपर, उसमें यूनेस्को की जगह यूनिसेफ डाल दिया था. सबने खुश होकर पढ़ा, सही करा है, सही करा है. एजेंसी देखो, एजेंसी पे फोकस करना. This is wrong. It is a US agency. It provides official development assistance. Yes, this is correct. It primarily funds military assistance? No, diverse है. It only operates in Africa and Asia? ऐसा भेदभाव क्यों? सबके साथ करेगा. USAID has played a significant role in India's health and development sectors. Discuss the impact of recent US policy changes on India's foreign and inflows. Fine, already जो भी fodder है, you have to put in there. Focus on the keywords. Fine, जो भी आपने देखा यहाँ पर, जो भी यहाँ पे लिखा है ना, these are keywords. पहला focus इन पे होना चाहिए. In your short notes, you should be able to track these. ये लिखे होने चाहिए आपके short notes for any topic, any subject. These things are secondary. पहले ये समझ लोगे, उसके बाद fill in the gaps with examples and data. Step by step process for any topic. Fine. चुमकी सरकार बोल रही है सर थोड़ा थोड़ा धीरे धीरे पढ़ाइए. जहां समझ में नहीं आता हैंड रेज करो. आपके पास तो भविष्य आकाशवाणी करने की प्रावधान भी है. यू हैव द वॉइस अवेलेबल. यस मैम, आप बताइए. There is a 3-language problem that is going on. Do you know about it? 3-language formula.
हेलो.
हेलो.
हाय सर. सर जो पढ़ा था उसका पीडीएफ मिलेगा ना हमें?
हाँ, पीडीएफ टेलीग्राम चैनल पे मिल जाएगा आपको. अगर आप पूरा लेक्चर अटेंड करेंगे तो बाद में बताऊंगा. अगर नहीं करने वाले तो अभी बता दूं.
नहीं सर, मुझे नहीं मिला. इसके पहले जब आपका क्लास की थी उसका भी पीडीएफ नहीं मिला मुझे.
वीडियो यूट्यूब पे आता है मैम, डेली आता है. ठीक है. एंड टेलीग्राम पे यू कैन टेक अ लुक एट दिस टेलीग्राम चैनल. MOHIT_LATHAR.
ओके सर. ओके सर.
Daily videos link and PDF are posted here. Official channel of PLUTUS IAS and Mains. Fine.
ओके, थैंक यू सर.
ठीक है, ठीक है. 3-language formula problem चल रहा है that Tamil Nadu is saying that we would not be getting into pressure and imposing Hindi on us. We would be having our own language and we are focusing on 2 languages. Fine. And it is also right because we don't have official national language. We have only the official language as English and official language as Hindi. Fine. And it is a duty of state to interlink these languages with Hindi. They can promote it, but it is the will of the state to choose any of the 22 languages. उसमें से part 8 में जो हैं, they can choose. So now it was alleged that the central government is not giving funds under Samaksh Shiksha Abhiyan, Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan, because Tamil Nadu is not opting for 3rd language. So that's why I gave an example about that. All things मैं बता चुका हूँ डेली करंट अफेयर्स में. आप एक बार देखा करिए उसको भी. फाइन. मेंस का क्वेश्चन समझ में आ गया. पशु औषधि इनिशिएटिव, अफोर्डेबल veterinary medicines for livestock. Points to focus: which ministry, taking example from which scheme? जी, एनिमल हस्बेंड्री वाली. मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एनिमल हस्बेंड्री. एग्रीकल्चर में तो प्लांट वगैरह ज्यादा उसका आ जाएगा. पशु वाला जो मिलेगा आपको मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एनिमल हस्बेंड्री मिलेगा. सो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया हैज अनाउंस्ड दिस पशु औषधि इनिशिएटिव. ठीक है. एंड दिस इनिशिएटिव इज अ पार्ट ऑफ दिस लाइवस्टॉक हेल्थ एंड डिजीज कंट्रोल प्रोग्राम approved by the union cabinet. Budget allocation has been done. ठीक है. Nothing to worry about this. Moving forward, what is this initiative? It is a network of affordable veterinary medicines. Just we have as Jan Aushadhi Kendra, some medical stores जिनके आगे बड़ा बड़ा PM मोदी का जैसे वही डॉक्टर हैं. तो फोटो लगा होता है. We have the Jan Aushadhi Kendras where we are getting very much affordable generic medicines. Yes, perfect. Generic medicines we are getting so that at a cheaper rate we can get the generic medicines which are having the same salts but which are developed under the surveillance of the government. Cost उसका बहुत कम होता है. Same काम करती है medicine store across India. So similarly, when these are things for animals, these are known as Pashu Aushadhi. ठीक है. No talking please. Now these are on the lines of Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Kendras. Taking inspiration and having your scheme under it, these both things are different. You take an inspiration from your friend and do something, it is different. You do something under the guidance of your friend, it is different. So it has taken the inspiration from this scheme, it is not under this scheme. Point to be noted. Fine. which provides low-cost generic human medicines. It is on the lines of this scheme. Fine. Now these stores will supply high-quality generic variety, and I told you generic का मतलब होता है same salt but at less price. जब वो प्राइवेट के हाथ में जाता है, एजुकेशन इज सिमिलर. गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स भी एनसीईआरटी पढ़ रहे हैं, प्राइवेट वाले भी एनसीईआरटी पढ़ रहे हैं, पर वहां जाते फीस 1.5 लाख हो जाती है. गवर्नमेंट में भी आजकल महंगी हो गई है, पर कंपैरिजन वी कैन डू. नाउ इट इज रन बाय कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटीज एंड प्रधानमंत्री किसान समृद्धि केंद्र. So run by cooperative societies. Point to be noted. Now significance and the need for Pashu Aushadhis, because we have large livestock population, and talking about cattle, we have in the world we have the largest, and the state, which state has the largest cattle? UP, Uttar Pradesh. Now in the 20th livestock also, and 21st जो है उसकी रिपोर्ट आने वाली है, but we have already covered it. 21st livestock census. Fine. Bovine population, bovine मतलब cattle, buffalo, मिथुन चक्रवर्ती नहीं. मिथुन क्या है? बोवाइन है. कहां मिलते हैं? कोई बोला आसाम. हाँ, उस साइड. याक अपने हिमालयन रीजन में मिलते हैं. ठीक है, तो दीज आर ऑल बोवाइन्स. Impact of livestock disease. Now we are having so much livestock diseases like foot and mouth disease, FMD, brucellosis, different type of PPR, cerebral spinal fluid, and lumpy skin disease. So different diseases are there which are troubling our these मवेशी या फिर अपने bovine जो kettles हैं उनको कर रहे हैं. So for them we should have a generic medicines where the farmers could go and they can have medicines in a very less rate, because first of all वही रोटी कपड़ा मकान वाला, when we have a small amount of money we would be taking care of our family. Means yes, we accept even the animals as our families, but practically if two people are ill in your house, you would be first giving care of your human friend, not your animal friend. Practicality. Offend नहीं होना है किसी को. सर डॉग हुआ तो हम तो ऐसे करेंगे. Now disease burden, we are having a disease burden which leads to high out of pocket expenditure on farmers, because we are having very much costly medicines, and when we have to take such costly medicines we do some other cures, like we in the house also when we see that क्यों डॉक्टर को जाना है, some different nuskas we try, they work. But even in the Ramayana, when Lakshman was hit, so the Ved came from the Sri Lankan side, he told that कोई मंत्र काम नहीं करेगा, संजीवनी बूटी है, you have to get it till the sunrise. So it was a message to all of us that yes, the things work, but at the end it is medical science only which can treat us. Okay. Loss of productivity and income due to sick animals, they would not be able to produce the goods. Rising cost of dairy and meat products, and threat to the food security. So these are the reasons why we need such schemes, be it the Rashtriya Gokul mission or any scheme. Why we need those schemes? For this reason. These are the standard reasons that we need to follow. Economic benefits. If we have cheaper medicines, which would be reducing the expenditure on other things, animal health care, benefiting all the farmers and things. It would boost the rural livelihoods and dairy sector, and it would align the India's goal of increasing milk and livestock productivity. So also GDP में agriculture का contribution जो है, it would be increasing. Now how it would be working? Managed by cooperative societies, Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samriddhi Kendras, these are the basic things, and guidelines are issued by Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairy. ठीक है. Ethno-veterinary medicines, meaning traditional and indigenous formulations, will be promoted. These will be combined with drugs and these will be sold. National Dairy Development Board has compiled a list, means different diseases के लिए different medicines are already being done. So why these are necessary? What animals or what animals are in focus? These should be taken care of. Static knowledge, it is Article 48. DPSP, which says that we must organize animal husbandry. So it can be related to polity as well. Always relate it with the constitution first. Any news, you must have an article with it. Because while writing your answers, if you relate such things with DPSP, examiner would be more happy. Because in normal life, we are not aware of these things. We are not able to relate any news with the articles first. If you do, and he or she have read an answer before yours, which doesn't have these things, so he or she would definitely give you marks. Fine. Article 243G, which is according to regarding panchayats. 243G, empower the panchayat to promote the animal husbandry and dairy development. So we are having this in which schedule? Or tears of old PM. अरे 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 आराम से पहले पार्ट और शेड्यूल बताओ. पार्ट क्या होते हैं, शेड्यूल क्या होता है? पार्ट 3 फंडामेंटल राइट्स, पार्ट 4 तो मैं शेड्यूल की बात कर रहा हूँ. 11 यही चाहिए. हाँ, टीयर्स ऑफ ओल्ड पीएम. टीयर्स ऑफ ओल्ड पीएम पता है मैम? आपको पता है, मैम को नहीं पता. टीयर्स ऑफ ओल्ड पीएम फॉर रिमेम्बरिंग द शेड्यूल्स. राइट इट डाउन. टीयर्स ऑफ ओल्ड पीएम. पीएम. फिर मनमोहन सिंह जी की रोती हुई तस्वीर वहां पे. These are the first terms of schedules, like T for territory, E for emoluments, A for affirmation oath, R for Rajya Sabha seat allocation, and so on. The first term of all the things. Right? अगर ना समझ में क्लास के बाद I would make you write down. कर लेना. This question, ये ठीक है? Okay, fine. This question, please solve this. लक्ष्य. Easy. It is launched under the Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Janaushadhi Kendra initiative on the lines not under. ठीक है. It aims to provide affordable generic veterinary medicines. Yes. Will be implemented by Department of Pharmaceuticals. Ministry का ध्यान रखना है, किसके अंडर है ये ध्यान रखना है. आंसर would be 2 only. ठीक है. Any doubts? If no doubt persists, please solve these UPSC questions. Came in 2005. Infectious. These are infectious. Others are non-infectious. Virus definitely would be infectious. Foot and mouth disease very much in news, very prominently in news. If you don't know about these things, you would be confused in these options. 1 and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fine. And if you want to, means it is not necessary to do everything, but you would be confused in these two. Now you have to take a chance, because it is not necessary and it is not advisable also to read all the diseases of such animals. Now you have to take a chance. I would not also suggest you to go and read all the diseases of the animals. If you want to attempt this, you can do it, but only when you have reached a stage that yes, you are clearing the prelims cutoff. Now you have to go to the forest services. Then only do such questions. और अगर किसी को नाम से समझ में आ रहा है, anyone can help me. If by name they can talk about anything that related to some human disease or anything. Cowpox तो ठीक है, वो हो गया नाम से. Foot and mouth disease we know that is infectious. About arthritis and black water, क्या होता है? Just search. Animal only, but infectious or not? Infectious. Black leg. So it would not be infectious. Bacterial. Bacterial disease would not be infectious. Fine. So not necessary to know all things, but by having a general knowledge, by having an analytical mind, you can eliminate things. Like we must have 4 and 1. You can reach up to answer. Then this. यही है ऐसे बच्चों के लिए. जो पढ़ा रहा हूं हमेशा वही आंसर नहीं होगा. I am showing that these questions are coming into the examination. When this is in news, you must take care of this. Lion and dog suffer from canine distemper virus. Fine. क्वेश्चन पढ़ो ना. Yes.
सर इसका आंसर क्या हुआ? मतलब सी और डी?
सी आंसर हुआ इसका. सी.
ओके ओके.
This is canine distemper virus. So these things must be taken care of when these are appearing in the newspaper, because these are already been asked in UPSC PYQs. Fine. Next topic, also related to animals, Ongole cattle. Yes, ma'am. I'm not yet aware about it. If you have read about it, then it could be. I will also take a look at it and confirm. You will get the PDF in Telegram channel. In animals, person to person is different thing, and also these things are not always correct. है ना? AI is always not correct. AI is always not correct. जो गूगल करा होगा आपने ठीक है, बट जो यूपीएससी ने बोला है आंसर you have to do. Infectious and communicable. हाँ, we can also say that. ठीक है, डन. नेक्स्ट, Ongole cattle. कोई कुछ कह रहा है? Ongole cattle. Now this is very much in news. It is an indigenous breed, which India की original breed है. Now it is increasingly being bred in Brazil. Fine, these are very heavy. Means one of the heaviest cattle breed आप देखोगे. These are found in southern states. Southern state में primarily Andhra Pradesh. Fine, ठीक है. Now these are being bred in Brazil. Now it is a cause of concern that why India is not focusing on these things. Fine. Now they are focused on because of India is more focusing on the exotic cattle for their higher milk production. And in that case, they are ignoring these indigenous breeds. Now it is native to Andhra Pradesh in India. This is the point to be noted here. Key features, just overview. They have large muscle build with prominent hump. हम समझते हो, ठीक है? High resistance to disease and adaptability to hot climates. That's why Brazil. ठीक है, इनकी skin जो होती है, that is also very hard, so that all the mites and all do not affect them. That's why they are considered. Strong drought capability. जहाँ पे पानी नहीं है, drought cattle के नाम से इन्हें जाना जाता है, and also used traditionally for plowing fields. If they are muscular, for this purpose they would be used. But Brazilians are using it for meat activity also. Heavy bulls, more amount of meat would be coming from them. That's why. Reduced over the time due to selective breeding for strength. It was producing good milk earlier, but when we selectively breed them for muscles, then they lose that trait, recessive trait and all these things. Global significance, export to Brazil, other countries since late 19th century. Now they are having Brazil's Ongole population dominates its cattle industry. Almost 80% जो वहाँ पे bulls हैं, they are Ongole category. Why is Ongole thriving in Brazil? Meat and strength. Fine, as I told you. Lineage record maintenance means unlike India, they are maintaining the record. They are maintaining the lineage. Like if you see the dogs which are very much used for fighting, so you know the dog by their father's name, like Sultan's breed. Dogs are with this name because they are very much good fighters. So if that breed's dog is in news, so they would be having higher price because that was a very strong dog. Similarly, they are maintaining the lineage. Like कोई bull रहा होगा, वो बहुत strong रहा होगा. And in Haryana, we have bulls and buffaloes of 7 crore rupees, 7 to 8 crore rupees, which are having expenses more than even a 10 member of family. Like they are fed with almond oil. They are regularly coated with almond oil. They are eating like 50 to 100 kgs of chanas daily. So 8 crores bulls we are having in Haryana. So similarly, these are also from Andhra Pradesh and they are catered for their strength. ठीक है, lineage record maintenance है, so that they can have better breeds there, and economic importance definitely. वही उनकी प्राइस की बता रखी है that at very much 40 crore में एक breed बेची गई थी उनकी, so that's why they are getting prominence there, and also they are good at combating disease. Their skin resistance is very good. Skin is very hard. Fine. Now the government initiatives for similarly for indigenous breeds, like there would be a question in prelims and mains that this is happening. We are not taking much good care of our indigenous breeds. What are the challenges? challenges would be told, then we would be telling that ऐसा नहीं है. We are also focusing upon these things because we have such missions. Rashtriya Gokul Mission, which promotes the conservation and breeding of native cattle breeds, focus on increasing productivity. फिर पुंगनुरु काउस के बारे में बता सकते हैं आप. You can talk about Jallikattu because Jallikattu festival is for preserving the indigenous breeds as well. तो कल्चर के एस्पेक्ट से, फ्रॉम द पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ लॉ, वी कैन टॉक अबाउट पेटा. ठीक है. एंड पेटा समझते हो? नहीं समझते? क्या होता है पेटा? एनिमल्स क्रुएल्टी जो है उसको रोकने के लिए लॉ है, एंड पेटा इज एन एनजीओ दैट प्रिवेंट्स सच एक्टिविटीज. फुल फॉर्म आई एम ऑल्सो फॉरगेटिंग. पेटा किसी को पता है तो बताइए, पेटा क्या होता है फुल फॉर्म? वो तो एक्ट है. हाँ, पीपल फॉर एथिकल ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ एनिमल्स, एनजीओज हैं. Then we have lamb farm in Andhra Pradesh, which uses IVF and different technologies to preserve these breeds. Fine, which supply superior bull semen to embryos to farmers, and we are doing such things. We are helping the farmers to preserve these indigenous breeds. And important fact, ट्रिविया मान लो या कहीं पूछ लिया जाए, नंदी बुल्स जो हैं शिवा टेम्पल्स में, दे आर डिजाइंड ऑन टू द इनसे इंस्पिरेशन लेके बनाई गई ओंगोल बुल्स. जो भी आप नंदी महाराज देखते हो, दे आर इंस्पायर्ड फ्रॉम ओंगोल बुल्स. नाउ क्वेश्चन जो कि आप पहले से करके बैठे होगे, प्राइमरली फाउंड इन आंध्र ब्राजील. अच्छा, ब्राजील हैज द हाईएस्ट पॉपुलेशन. यस, उनके पास हो गई है. ओंगोल कैटल वर नेवर एक्सपोर्टेड आउटसाइड इंडिया. कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी स्टेटमेंट्स, एक सही होगा उसमें से. दे आर नोन फॉर देयर हाई मिल्क यील्ड कंपेयर्ड टू होल्स्टीन. दिस क्वेश्चन वाज आस्क्ड इन सीएपीएफ. चार ऑप्शन दिए थे, दैट विच अमंग द फॉलोइंग हैज हाईएस्ट मिल्क यील्ड. ठीक है, डन. क्वेश्चंस. पॉइंट इज कि ऐसे ब्रीड के क्वेश्चंस यू माइट बी सीइंग इन द पेपर. यूनिक अबाउट खड़ाई कैमल, breed found in India, capable of swimming up to 3 kilometers in sea water. It survives by grazing on mangroves. It lives in the wild and cannot be domesticated. इंडिया है ये, यहाँ पे शेर को भी पाल लेते हैं. कैमल क्या चीज है? सी वाटर मैंग्रोव्स लिंकिंग 1 and 2 would be the right answer. Again, you must not be aware about these things. Cannot be domesticated, but a general purpose, a general analytical ability would lead you to 1 and 2. Because 1 and 2 are interrelated. सी वाटर में तैर रहे हैं तो मैंग्रोव भी खा लेते होंगे. किसको पता है कि कौन क्या खाता है? अज्यूम कर सकते हैं. वी कैन टेक अ हेल्प फ्रॉम द ऑप्शंस इटसेल्फ. अब 1 and 2 सही है, अब 3 बचा हुआ है. 3 के साथ यू कैन प्ले. दिस ऑप्शन के साथ यू कैन प्ले. यू कैन हैव एग्जांपल्स ऑफ एवरीथिंग दैट वी कैन डोमेस्टिकेट एनीथिंग. व्हाई नॉट कैमल्स? एंड ऐसा कुछ कभी आया भी नहीं न्यूज में या नजर में दैट वी आर नॉट एबल टू डोमेस्टिकेट अ कैमल वैरायटी. राइट? एनीथिंग दैट इज economically productive, we are domesticating it. This question: Dhakrana, Sirohi, Marwadi, these breeds are taken under breed improvement program by the Department of Animal Husbandry, Government of Rajasthan, are the form of camels. के पीछे बढ़ जाओ. गोट्स होंगी. गोट्स हैं, मारवाड़ी गोट्स. संभाल के, कॉलेज में नहीं हूं. मारवाड़ी गोट्स. गाय की क्या होती है ब्रीड? साहिवाल. ठीक है. गिर. बफेलो की मुर्रा, जाफराबादी. पहले भी, हाँ बिल्कुल, और पहले यहाँ पे भी बताया. पंचायत याद है? सर के क्लास लेक्चर नहीं याद है. मूवी बनानी पड़ेगी. साइंस बिहाइंड क्रिकेट बॉल स्विंगिंग. तो व्हाट इज द साइंस बिहाइंड क्रिकेट बॉल स्विंगिंग? क्या समझते हो? बर्नौली है या मैग्नस है? So a simple concept है that it is based on air pressure difference. Now when COVID happened, the bowlers were and the fielders were prohibited from applying saliva because it would lead to infectious diseases. So now Shami, Indian cricket player, has requested ICC, that is the International Cricket Council, to remove that ban because saliva जो है it is more effective in this reverse swinging rather than sweat. Saliva has different sort of bacteria. Fine. Now, for need to focus is कैसे swing होता है due to air pressure difference. One side is smooth, one side is a little rough, and when you know rough side will move into the air, it would have some pressure difference or resistance होगी उसमें, it would have some friction, so it would lead to one side. Fine. और जो एक side heavy होती है उसकी, fine. That due to that reason it does that. Simple concept, only this, nothing more in it, and it is closely related to Bernoulli's principle, which says that faster moving air or fluid results in the lower pressure. जहां pressure कम होगा, wind कहां से कहां चलती है, high to low, तो ball ऐसे high to low move होगी. Fine. A thin layer of air, when we move it into the air, it gets onto it, which forms the ball के surface पे, and it is when it is released by a bowler, this happens. A thin layer of air gets around the ball and the seam direction which influences the position of the ball. And we can have two types of swing, a new ball and a reverse swing. Means when the ball is new, it is having a smooth surface, a little bit rough surface, but when it gets old, the side remains, एक side जो है smoother रह जाती है due to applying of saliva again and again, and due to which it moves into the opposite direction. But आपके लिए ज़्यादा कुछ अंदर नहीं जाना है, केवल आपको ये समझना है. बहुत लोग होंगे would be getting into the videos of PhD into this, but simple concept, Bernoulli's and pressure area difference, इतना करके अपना काम solve हो जाएगा. Fine. Now why the saliva is used? To shine one side of the ball, and it increases the contrast between rough and smoother sides so that they can know that how to swing the ball, and it maintains the ball's hardness and helping the fast bowler generate the pace. Ban क्यों हुआ था? Due to COVID-19. Bernoulli principle for swinging, Magnus effect for spinning. At most this question would be asked. Bernoulli और Magnus के बीच में difference. Laws related to cricket, that there is a law which prohibit using of unfair means. Sandpaper gate, you might have remembered. Australian players using sandpaper को हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं? Sandpaper को हिंदी में जिससे वो पेंट करते टाइम we use that. रेगमार. Fine. Nothing important. Do this. What causes a cricket ball to swing? Air pressure difference. Bernoulli दिख भी रहा है. सट्टे मारने ऐसी. Physics के phenomena, you can expect questions on physical phenomena. That's why this question. इससे क्या दिक्कत है? ये क्यों नहीं होता? Total internal reflection, TIR, is the basic thing that is needed for a rainbow. नहीं पढ़ रहे हो फिजिक्स? क्यों नहीं हो रही है पढ़ाई? है? आप तो ट्रिप पे जाओ. Fine. Mainstreaming wetland conservation. What do you know about wetlands? What do you know about wetlands? मैं wetland पूछ रहा हूं. रुक जाओ. बिल्कुल ठीक है. कंडीशन होती है वेटलैंड की 6 मीटर डीप होने चाहिए. ठीक है. और दे शुड हैव अ रिच बायोडाइवर्सिटी. एनी वेटलैंड अराउंड यू एंड फ्रॉम वेयर यू बिलोंग? कहाँ है हरियाणा में? कहाँ है? हाँ बताओ बताओ कहाँ होगा. होगा. Wetlands are there. Ramsar wetlands and wetlands, these are both different things. Any lake protected by government, given a status of wetland, becomes a wetland. हाँ बताओ बताओ. यूपी में तो बहुत है. कमर लेक क्वेश्चन भी आया है इसका, यूपीएससी ने पूछा भी है. ठीक है. तो वेटलैंड्स को इंपॉर्टेंस रखना है. वी वुड बी कवरिंग द these things that Meghalaya High Court has taken a suo motu cognizance to monitor the wetland conservation in the state, and we all know that February 2 जो है वो मनाया जाता है as an World Wetland Day. World Wetland Day, February 2. Ramsar Convention. Ramsar is in which country? Iran. Convention of 1971 to take a note of all the important wetlands around the globe. Now, what are wetlands? These are biologically productive ecosystems that provide ecological, economic, and social benefits. Not just one benefit, ecologically for the species, economically for the people around it, and also the social benefits, because it is very much important for tourism and those things. Okay, and these include water purification, flood control, climate regulation, carbon sequestration. What is carbon sequestration? Okay, absorbing carbon. Global wetland scenario, if we see that we have a total wetland area of around 12.1 million square kilometers, which is around 6% of the Earth's surface. But we are seeing a cumulative loss over the period. That we have from 1900, we have already lost 50% of wetlands to human activities. Fine. And if we talk about the wetland species loss, it has been increased to 81%. 81% species loss. And we are seeing that globally, due to climate things and climate change, we are losing around 35%. So change is very much severe. This you can use in your introduction for writing mains answers. That what is the situation of wetlands, why are they are being troubled? So due to human activities, we have lost this much of space. Now, wetland in India. India is signatory to the Ramsar Convention. We all know about this. And the total wetland area in India is 15.98 million hectares. Natural wetlands are more than man-made wetlands, and coastal wetlands are more than inland wetlands. Wetlands जो है ज़्यादातर आपको coastal areas में ज़्यादा मिलेंगे. Coastal wetlands are more than inland wetlands. ये note करना. Then we have some data that all the cities are being converted to high-rise buildings. Anywhere we find empty space, we make a mall around it. So these are the result of that wetlands are being encroached upon, and we are not having much wetlands. And when we see that there is a more rainfall, but we see all everywhere water has been encroached. And when we blame the climate change, but we don't mention that we have taken the space of wetlands and river flooding areas. Fine. Now, what are the challenges to the wetland conservation? Any environment thing, we have two broad headings: human-made and all the natural things. Human-made में क्या आएगा? Urbanization, industrialization, agriculture expansion. In the climate change impact, temperatures are increasing, very extreme weather events, more floods, more icebergs are melting. So there are wetlands जो हैं वो wetland rivers में convert हो जाते हैं कभी-कभी, या फिर drought होती है तो बिल्कुल ही खत्म हो जाते हैं. Fine. Rising sea levels, coastal wetlands को, because they might be the freshwater wetlands को, and when the sea level is rising, the sea water might be intruding into the fresh water. So the species which are dependent on these areas would be hurt. Also the governments and policy issues. First we can have from our side, from nature side, and what the laws are troubling us. Ineffective enforcement of the conservation laws, lack of monitoring and reporting, means just designating a site as a Ramsar wetland site would not conserve it. We have to work on it. Fine. Legal and policy framework in India, under Article 48A, we have the directive principle of protecting and improving the environment. We have DPSP also and fundamental duty also. Okay, note it. In the polity itself, you can get a question on this, that under which of the following parts we have conservation of environment. Preamble, DPSP, FDs, all of the above, ऐसे करके. Laws, environmental laws, we have EPA 1986 and the Wetland Conservation Management Tools of 2010 also and 17 also then. Fine. And National Plan for Conservation. These things you can write in the mains examination. That yes, we are having. And for the international conservation, we have Paris Agreement, fine, and also the Ramsar Convention. बसई, हाँ, झज्जर के पास हो, कहाँ पे? Way forward, जो भी challenges है, convert that into way forward. Legal framework को strengthen कर दो. All the national action plans should be converted to that. Scientific conservation, we can use the AI also, geographical indication also, so that fencing हो जाए उसकी. Eco restoration, and afforestation should be used. Community participation awareness, because these people are more aware about the ground realities. So they can be made a stakeholder and a party to the conservation plans. And also the monitoring and the governance should be done. Like if we have a Ek Ped Maa Ke Naam campaign, then why cannot we have some initiatives for wetlands also, so that all the wetlands shall be conserved? Please solve this question. Which of the following statements only in tropical regions? No. Ecological services? Yes. Not signed the Ramsar Convention? No. Not impacted by urbanization? No. In mains, wetland play a crucial role in climate change mitigation and sustainable development, yet they are under severe stress in India. Discuss the challenges and suggest measures. So any question regarding environment and wetland could be tackled from this article. Fine. Any doubts? No doubts. Let's solve this. Wetland or lake ka pair? जवाब ऐसे दो जो समझ में आए. वाह, बहुत बढ़िया, पहली बार सही जवाब दिया. ठीक है, तो these wetlands which are very much in news, Hukera was already asked once again. पहले यूपीएससी ने पूछा था. That's why we know the terms which are again and again asked. So that's why some wetlands are more important, which are again and again in the news. Revise them only. These two are correct. Okay, only two pairs would be the correct answer. Fine. Then Einstein ring discovered in nearby galaxy. Now point to be noted is what is Einstein ring and what is light years. UPSC asked the term. What is light years? Astronomical unit to measure distance of space objects, astronomical objects. So it is not speed of light or it is not related to any light activities. It is a distance है, time नहीं है, distance है, ये ध्यान रखना है. Fine. Now the Einstein ring was originally named after Altieri's ring, after Bruno Altieri. ठीक है. Now the astronomer who first noticed in the September. अब होती क्या है? A circular pattern है, ring of light formed when a massive foreground object, as we talked about the gravitational lens, massive foreground object, when light comes from behind it, we can see the object that is behind it due to the massive object ने light को bend कर दिया. This is only the Einstein relativity theory, that the whole universe is like a blanket, and on that blanket all the planets are warping the blanket. Like if we see this is sun. Now the sun is here. More the mass, more the light will take time to bend. Now this is only due to which gravity is forming, and all the things. Black hole की light क्यों नहीं pass होती? Because its mass is very much huge. Light even cannot pass it. Relativity theory यही है, यही बता रहा हूँ. तो ये मैग्नीफाई होके आती है. तो these all things are related. Gravitational lensing, Einstein theory of relativity, and these things. Now these phenomena were predicted by Einstein in 1915. चादर लेके आओ. एक ब्लैंकेट है. मैं फिजिक्स का टीचर थोड़ी हूँ. कौन सा? ये वाला ग्रेविटेशनल लेंसिंग वाला. बेंड्स एंड मैग्नीफाइज लाइट फ्रॉम अ डिस्टेंट बैकग्राउंड. एक बहुत बड़ा ऑब्जेक्ट है आपके यहाँ. इसके पीछे क्या ऑब्जेक्ट है हम नहीं देख पा रहे हैं क्योंकि इट इज ब्लॉक्ड बाय द व्यू. व्हेन द लाइट इज कमिंग फ्रॉम दिस, लाइट जो है बेंड होती है बड़े ऑब्जेक्ट से ऐसे. When light gets converged, we can see the distant object very close. तो ये ग्रेविटेशनल लेंसिंग होती है. ग्रेविटी की वजह से उसकी लेंस की जो मतलब ये देखने की जो स्थिति है, we can have it a closer look due to a mass object in front of it. ग्रेविटेशनल लेंसिंग. ठीक है. वो बैकग्राउंड हो गया, वो तो फोरग्राउंड तो मतलब आगे हो गया ना. स्पेशल केस ऑफ, बस यार, स्पेशल केस ऑफ ग्रेविटेशनल लेंसिंग इज नियर परफेक्ट अलाइनमेंट, ऑब्जर्वर ऑन अर्थ हो, फोरग्राउंड में ग्रेविटेशनल लेंस हो, मैसिव गैलेक्सी हो कोई, और बैकग्राउंड में कोई डिस्टेंट ऑब्जेक्ट हो. अब मैम आपको सही समझ में आ जाएगा. इसको देखिए. ठीक है ना. फाइन. स्टैटिक नॉलेज, रिलेटिविटी थ्योरी. एक ग्रेविटी जो है कर्वेचर ऑफ स्पेस टाइम caused by massive objects. Simple. Gravitational lensing is light when bends due to gravity, magnifying the distant objectives. ठीक है. Dark matter, a mysterious form of matter detected only by its gravitational effects. We cannot see it. And Euclid mission, which is the mission that observed this thing. ESA की mission है Euclid mission. ठीक है. All that. Einstein ring क्या है? ठीक है. Fine. इसके अलावा this solve this one first. 2017 में क्वेश्चन है. Terms, event horizon, singularity, string theory. These all things are related to स्टैंडर्ड मॉडल जो रट्टा मार के आए हैं. क्वेश्चन पढ़ लिया करो, समझ लिया करो पहले. ठीक है. तो ये ऐसे ऐसे टर्म्स हमें कई बार देखने पड़ते हैं. एंड दीज आर इन न्यूज, वी कैन टैकल देम. दिस वन 2017 2018 अगले ही साल. क्या और कोई बोल रहे हैं? वही तो हो गया डी. एनीवन एल्स? सोते सोते डी. So these all things describe the Einstein. That's why converging the current affairs with static is very much necessary so that you have holistic understanding. Fine. Legacy of Amir Khusro. So there was a program, Jahan-e-Khusro Music Festival in Delhi, which commemorated the 13th century Sufi poet musician. PM Modi visited that place and he said that fragrance of soil of Hindustan is highlighted due to this cultural significance, mixing of both the cultures, because he was the one who produced the Hindavi language, which was precursor to Hindi and Urdu. Okay. Now Khusro, known as Parrot of India. Who gave the title of Parrot of India? Alauddin Khilji. Okay. Tutiye Hind. Played a crucial role in shaping the North India's syncretic Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb. You can quote it in the ethics paper. Whenever there is a conflict between two parties, just quote that from the vision of Amir Khusro's Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb, we must do this. कई बार केस स्टडी आती है ना, when you are involved into a fight of communal fight हो जाती है, तो quote these things. Aman committees, Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb, these terms can enhance your answers. Fine. Amir Khusro's contribution to music and Qawwali जो है, pioneer of Indian music and Qawwali. Fine. Developing of Hindavi, point to be noted, precursor of modern Hindi and Urdu, and associated with its invention of sitar and tabla. Still disputed, but let us assume it that NCERT में लिखा है तो ठीक है. Developed dozen of ragas and influenced khayal music. Important. Khayal music. Khayal. कुछ भी बोल लो, ख्याल बोल लो, पायल मत बोलना बस. Popular compositions like छाप तिलक, जहल मस्कीन, सकल बन फूल, रही सरसों, different things. नूसिफर, मसनवीज जो है, मसनवीज I told you, poems होती है. Fine. History वालों करते रहो रिवाइज. Literature and language, wrote in Persian and Hindavi. Persian is from Iran side, Hindavi is precursor to that. So unique blend of Turkic and all the things, riddles, jingles, eulogies. Eulogies is स्टोरी उनकी जिनोलॉजी की, पूरे बाप दादा सबका बदला लेगा, दैट टाइप. ठीक है. हिंदू फिलोसफिकल थॉट को भी रिकॉग्नाइज किया था. ही प्रेज्ड दैट थिंग एंड प्रेज्ड ब्राह्मण्स इन हिज मसनवी नूसिफर. एक पोएम उन्होंने लिखी थी एंड पोएम्स वर नोन एज मसनवीज. ठीक है. Sufi influence and spiritual legacy. Most beloved disciple of Nizamuddin Auliya. Who was Nizamuddin Auliya when he was active? What he said? What he said to Ghiasuddin Tughlaq? दिल्ली अभी दूर है. ठीक है. निजामुद्दीन औलिया लिखा भी है. निजामुद्दीन औलिया, गियासुद्दीन तुगलक थे हमारे हिस्ट्री में. आपका भी हिस्ट्री रहता है, आपको भी आ जाएगा समझ में. पर ये चीजें मैं ऑलरेडी डेली में एक बार कर चुका हूँ, इसलिए यहाँ थोड़ी स्पीड ज्यादा रहती है. बिकॉज इन 2 hours वी हैव टू कवर ऑलमोस्ट 13 न्यूज. In Delhi, we have to cover 4 to 5 news. We have the time constraint also. I have another class at 2:30, so I have to take care of that also. Fine. कहाँ पे थे? निजामुद्दीन औलिया, दिल्ली अभी दूर है. Fine. Key role in propagating Sufism in India, and he helped the bridge gap between the Sufi Kanka, spiritual order, and royal court. Because earlier we saw that during the times of Delhi Sultanate, they were not, Shariat law mein, it is not allowed to go onto the Sufi saints ki dargah. And that's why the who was not praising his son in Delhi Sultanate, who don't wanted his son to go to the Sufi saint dargah, Muhammad bin Tughlaq जो थे निजामुद्दीन औलिया के पास जाते थे, and Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq was not happy with it. That's why he wanted कि he throne पे नहीं आना चाहिए. That's why Muhammad bin Tughlaq killed him. And again, when Firoz Shah Tughlaq came, he changed the policies and he banned that practice. But it was Amir Khusro who tried to do this thing, royal court और Sufism के बीच में distance कम करने का. Solve this question, please. Disciple of Sheikh Nizamuddin Auliya, credited with the development of Hindavi language, key figure in the Bhakti movement, Sufi movement में थे. Any doubts, ma'am? Any doubts? हाँ बिल्कुल बता दिया करो डाउट जहां हो. आई एम देयर. ठीक है, कहीं ज्यादा लगे स्पीड तो बताओ, बिल्कुल बताओ. आई विल सॉल्व द डाउट, नो इश्यूज. बस क्यों फास्ट हूं ये मैं बता रहा हूं. सॉल्व दिस क्वेश्चन प्लीज. 2003 1999. Contemporary of Alauddin Khilji invented sitar, darasiko, translated Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita into Persian. What was his translation known as? कल ही बताया था. This one. When we talked about that, he developed Hindavi, precursor to Hindi and Urdu. He is the one who started this thing. Any doubts? Any doubts? No doubts? Let's move forward then. PKK and Turkey, a long-standing conflict. Concept is that this is a group like Hamas in Turkey region. Okay. Now they are involved into armed conflict since many years. But now they have said that we would get down and we will not use arms. But Turkey का जो है, Turkey means government जो है, its position is still confusing. इनका जो leader था, he was sentenced to death, but उनकी death sentence was converted to life imprisonment. Now, for us, it is important that where is this Kurdish region? What is this PKK? So यहाँ ये context था, I have told you. And we have to now look at this Kurdistan region. It is not a separate country. Different region में तुर्की का कुछ region है, कुछ region ईरान का है, सीरिया का, some region of Egypt. So जैसे खालिस्तान, imaginary thing. Punjab of India and Punjab of Haryana, Bodoland. It has some support from government, but अभी भी Bodoland जैसा कोई अलग state नहीं है. It is just a territory. Similarly, Kurdistan एक state नहीं है. It is a imaginary thing where the Kurdish people are living different जगह. Now this PKK is Partiya Karken Kurdistan. ठीक है. So from early 1980s it is active. 40 years की war के बाद इनके जो leader थे Abdullah Öcalan, ठीक है, he was sentenced to death, but life imprisonment change कर दी. Now they are decided that they will not fight the war, but stance of Turkey is unclear. NATO, EU and USA have declared that this organization is a terrorist organization. So M23, Hamas, PKK, these all are same rebellions and terrorist organizations. हाँ, n number of है तो कितना ही कर लो. बांग्लादेश चले जाओ, म्यांमार चले जाओ. Now who are Kurds? Kurds are the ethnic group. It's an ethnic group of odd 40 million people distributed in Turkey, Iraq, Syria, Iran. This is what you need to know. Kurdish force नहीं, इनकी ही force है जो अलग-अलग जगह है. They speak Kurdish language, a language which is distinct from Turkish and Arabic. Majority are Sunni Muslims. And they denied a nation state after the World War I. They wanted a separate state, but they were denied after the World War I. That's why they started the bloody war, leading to decades of rebellion operation. Where they are present? In Turkey, Syria, Iraq and Iran. In Turkey, they face suppression. That's why they are fighting back. In Syria, they have a special region of them. Syrian democratic forces control the northeast, which are influenced by PKK. So in Iraq also, they have a region which is a semi-autonomy region. So in Syria and in Iraq they have some control, but in Turkey and Iran they are having operations over them. That's why they are fighting back. So region who are Kurdish, and why this is important you will realize in a while. Treaty of Sevres जो थी 1920 में after World War I, it initially promised the Kurdish state to them. Static is being linked here now, but it was Treaty of Lausanne which denied that right. So Treaty of Sevres, Treaty of Versailles, Treaty of Lausanne, these all are related to World War I repercussions उनके. Fine. अब UN Charter कहता है right to self determination. It gives the right to people that to claim that we are a part of this. We are not part of India. We are part of some another imaginary group. तो UN Charter में ये right है. Fine. They are following that. And Turkey's NATO membership it is influenced by the stance on PKK and its terrorist group. तो टर्की NATO में आएगा नहीं आएगा तो सब ये डिपेंड करता है कि ये कैसे डील करता है उसके साथ. That's why Turkey is conscious in dealing. Turk Kurds who are basically Bedouin tribes. This is also UPSC ने पहले पूछ चुकी है. Fighting for their own homeland have been constant source of anxiety in recent times too. ठीक है, बेसिकली इनके लिए हमने देखा कि ईरान सीरिया में उनका थोड़ा बहुत कंट्रोल है. फाइन. हाँ ठीक है, क्वेश्चन ऑप्शंस थोड़े अजीब से बनाए हुए हैं. PYQ इसलिए लिखा है क्योंकि ईयर मेरे को नहीं मिला इसका, तो शायद ये क्वेश्चन में थोड़ा सा गड़बड़ है. टर्की और ईरान होने चाहिए थे साथ में, टर्की और ईरान साथ में होने चाहिए थे, देन दिस ऑप्शन वुड बी इनकरेक्ट. इसका ईयर नहीं मिला था मेरे को, किसी ने ऐसी बदमाशी की है शायद. डू दिस 2016, तो मतलब दिस इज नॉट अ करंट अफेयर, इट इज ऑलरेडी न्यूज फ्रॉम. बोल रहे कुर्द्स कहां पे हैं? बांग्लादेश में तो बिल्कुल नहीं है. गलत होते ही वन गलत हो गया. मदेसी नेपाल, रोहिंग्यास म्यांमार. So that's why these communities which are important, we must cover them. Fine. Gangetic dolphin population. First comprehensive estimate has been done. ठीक है. Gangetic dolphins in India have been observed. We have found almost 6,327, out of which 3 are Bias Nadi, जो Indus Nadi dolphin आती है. 3 to 4 you would be seeing here. उसमें 3 extra हैं. These are Indus की dolphins जो Indus में मिलती हैं. Ganga and its tributaries across 4 states, which 4 states we would be seeing, and it was conducted using hydrophones, sonar technology. Hydrophones means water के अंदर microphones and boat-based surveys. Because unlike tiger, they don't have stripes. Every tiger has a different stripe, just like our fingerprints. But these all dolphins are cute and एक जैसी दिखती हैं. Now, PM Modi released this on the World Wildlife Day, March 4, 2025. तो वर्ल्ड वाइल्ड लाइफ डे सेलिब्रेटेड ऑन March 4. ठीक है. सिग्निफिकेंस क्या है? ओनली रिवराइन डॉल्फिन्स इन इंडिया. इरावाडी जो है वो रिवराइन के अलावा वो भी हैं, सी वाली भी है, ओशियनेटिक भी है. हाँ मिलती है इरावाडी डॉल्फिन, उड़ीसा बिहार उस तरफ मिलती है. इंडिकेटर स्पीशीज है, ओनली प्रेजेंट इन द फ्रेश वाटर प्योर वाटर. इंडिकेटर स्पीशीज है, एंडेंजर्ड है आईसीएन में. Endangered. WPA 1 means highest protection and CITES also 1. Trade जो है strictly regulated है. CITES is Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species. CITES, part of National Aquatic Animal declared in 2009. ठीक है. Key findings of the survey. अलग अलग नदी में अलग अलग मिली है. गंगा की जो मेन स्टेम है वहां सबसे ज्यादा मिली है. डोंट नीड टू रिमेंबर ऑल दीज थिंग्स. इन द गंगा मेन स्टेम वी हैव मोर. बियास रिवर में 101. स्टेट वाइज डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन हाईएस्ट टू लोएस्ट UBWA. उत्तर प्रदेश, बिहार, वेस्ट बंगाल, असम. ठीक है. उत्तर प्रदेश, बिहार, वेस्ट बंगाल, असम. चैलेंजेस एज आई टोल्ड यू, नो कंसिस्टेंट मेथोडोलॉजी. ईयरली नहीं हो रहा है तो difficult to track growth. Individual identification is tough. No stripes like tigers. Threats भी हैं, pollution, habitat destruction, bycatch, noise pollution, climate change. So all these threats are common to any species. यू कैन यूज इनटू द मेंस आंसर जब आपको कोई स्पीशीज का थ्रेड बताए तो दिस कैन बी अ स्ट्रक्चर जस्ट यू कैन लाइक ऑलिव रिडले टर्टल्स सेम लगभग सेम चीजें होंगी उसमें भी पॉल्यूशन हैबिटेट डिस्ट्रक्शन ठीक है ऑलिव रिडले टर्टल्स कहाँ आते हैं बीच के नाम ऋषिकुल्या एंड गहीर माथा मास नेस्टिंग साइट व्हाट इज द अरीवाड़ा ठीक है way forward how should we conserve them more for any species this could be common population survey just like we are doing for human census for like livestock census we must have survey for them also project dolphin which was announced in 2020 by ministry of environment namami gange mission in this also we are cleaning the rivers so if we clean the rivers more dolphins would be able to habitat that area dolphin conservation action plan earlier last week we did about Ghadial Conservation Plan of Madhya Pradesh. So today we are doing this. Policy recommendations. Uniform methodologies honi chahiye so that they can be conserved better. And the fishermen awareness programs are also necessary so that they leave the dolphins undisturbed and they can be, if by chance agar wo catch bhi ho jati hai, they could be sent back to the rivers. River monitoring, local communities, eco awareness. Solve this question. सुनते नहीं हो मतलब क्वेश्चन ही कर रहे होते हो कि हाँ बताओ ऋतिक बताओ आज क्वेश्चन बताओ सर्वे पहले पेज में बताया था जब बात कर रहे थे बोट बेस्ड और हाइड्रोफोन बेस्ड अब बताओ कहाँ थे खड़े हो बैठ जाओ बोट बेस्ड सर्वे होते हैं और सोनार जो हाइड्रोफोन्स होते हैं तो अगर जब डॉल्फिन जो है अपना हंट कर रही होगी प्रे ढूंढ रही होगी तो इट वुड बी गिविंग आउट सोनार रेस इकोलोकेशन so the hydrophones microphones under water they would be able to get the signal so we would be knowing that कितने सिग्नल आ रहे हैं कहां से आ रहे हैं cool हाँ ट्रैकर कहां लगा होगा इनके ऊपर लगा सकते हैं दैट वुड बी हर्टफुल और बहुत कॉस्टली हो जाएगा हर डॉल्फिन के अंदर ट्रैकर लगाएंगे तो है ना गला कहाँ है उनका या ये मत बोला बीक पे लगा दो इनके खाएंगे क्या वो क्वेश्चन बता दिया था एंडेंजर्ड है ओनली फ्रेश वाटर इको लोकेशन दिस वुड बी राइट शेड्यूल 1 में सॉल्व दिस फर्स्ट क्लोजर टू मैन पूछूंगा मैं क्यों एंड दे आर मीन्स दे आर बिलीव टू बी वेरी मच स्मार्ट सर्कस में भी उनको यूज किया जाता है डॉल्फिन्स ठीक है ये अब आईईएस में आया सीएपीएफ में आया अगले ही साल उसके सेम क्वेश्चन 4 बार पूछा जा चुका दिस इंडस डॉल्फिन वन ऑफ द वर्ल्ड्स रेयरेस्ट मैमल्स इज मेनली फाउंड इन द फॉलोइंग रिवर्स ब्यास में हाँ हाँ नहीं ब्यास नदी में 101 है इंडस की प्रजाति की 3 थी इंडस डॉल्फिन आर डिफरेंट फ्रॉम गंगेटिक डॉल्फिन डॉल्फिन से भी आप भी नशे में हो बाहर आओ सोसाइटी से आ जाएगा कैश प्राइज आपका कल से कैश प्राइज में लगी हुई है मैम मिल गया पार्टी प्राइवेट मून लैंडिंग्स ठीक है सो एज वी टॉक्ड अबाउट इन द इंडेक्स दैट देयर आर मोर नंबर ऑफ प्राइवेट मून लैंडिंग्स हैपनिंग सो वी मस्ट बी अवेयर अबाउट दैट व्हिच मिशंस हैं कितने मिशन से कैसे हैं सो दिस मस्ट बी टेकिंग केयर ऑफ ठीक है क्या कह रहे थे ब्रेक ही ब्रेक है थोड़ी देर बाद तो दिस इज अ मिशन प्राइवेट मून लैंडिंग पहला जो मिशन था ओडिसिस था 2023 में फाइन दिस इज द सेकंड मिशन ब्लू गोस्ट नाम है and NASA is encouraging private sector participation so that we can have more number of funding more number of like expertise from the private thing and we can have more well balanced and sustainable exploration on moon so that's why private thing is very much necessary and this is known as commercial payload service program, CLPS, multiple missions from Japan, US. And why these are being sent? To explore the lunar exploration. Frequent moon landings will enable us to get more scientific evidence from that place. Private sector का role बढ़ जाएगा. Dependency on government funds would be reduced. Future deep space missions. Now we have to launch missions from the Earth's surface. If we colonize the moon, then we would be leaving for the different planets from moon's surface. Better for us. ठीक है. Deep missions के लिए establishing long-term human presence. NASA का Artemis program है, sending the next man and woman on the moon. And we have the opportunity for global collaborations because moon is not property of any particular country, as said by Outer Space Treaty and Moon Treaty. We would be talking about those treaties as well. Now, this is the list that you must take a note of. Blue Ghost, USA, company is not much important. Fine. Landed on March 3. Ethna, again of USA, March 6. As we talk, it might have landed. Hakuto R Mission, Hakuna Matata, ये जापान का ही लग रहा है नाम से ही. So May June 2025 में it would be going. IM3 again of USA and Astrobotic Technologies of USA. These are also planned missions. So कम से कम ये चार तो हैं, ये you should take a note of it. Private moon missions. ठीक है. Now then some details that कहाँ land हुआ. The Japan का Hakuto है, it would be going with the rover and lander. So it would be exploring more better. Fine. Ethna will explore the south pole. Why people are more exploring southern pole of moon? Dark side है, मतलब उस पे undisturbed है. ठीक है, सबको पता है. Undisturbed है, we would be having more number of chances of getting undisturbed information about the galactical formations. गैलेक्सी कैसे बनी होगी, कैसे वो अर्थ से बाहर निकला होगा कितने साल पहले, एंड सो ऑन. लो कॉस्ट फ्रीक्वेंट मिशंस. इंडिया का भी मून मिशन जा चुका है, चंद्रयान 3. चंद्रयान 4 जो है हम प्लान कर रहे हैं टू ब्रिंग बैक द रेगुलेट फ्रॉम द मून, एंड ऑल्सो चंद्रयान 4. International treaties, outer space treaty, it prevents any nation from claiming celestial bodies. These planets are not anyone's property, सबका equal हक है. Moon agreement, it establishes moon as the common heritage. And point to be noted, USA is not part of it. USA is not part of it. USA कहीं का भी पार्ट नहीं है. It can claim. वो इसलिए वो कभी पार्ट बना नहीं उसका. अपोलो उसने पहले भेजा, अब they are sending the Artemis. तो जैसे वास्को डी गामा या फिर अमेरिका कौन गया था, अमेरिका किसने फाइंड किया था, कोलंबस ने. तो कोलंबस जब गए तो वह अमेरिका के कहलाया, फिर वो जगह अमेरिका कहलाई. ऐसे ही मून पे पहले पहुंच के उसको भी अमेरिका, छोटा अमेरिका नाम दे देंगे. अच्छा, अमेरिका का जिक्र अबुल फजल जो अकबर के टाइम पे थे, उन्होंने अपनी किताबों में फाइंडिंग ऑफ अमेरिका, डिस्कवरी ऑफ अमेरिका के बारे में बात की थी. तो ये चीज ध्यान आई, नोट कर लेना. डिस्कवरी ऑफ अमेरिका was discussed by Abul Fazal in his writings. फिर solve this question. NASA initiative, promote private sector, human space flight to moon, इस पे फोकस कर रहा है क्या ये? ह्यूमन स्पेस फ्लाइट पे, ह्यूमन स्पेस फ्लाइट पे फोकस कर रहा है ये, एक्सप्लोरेशन पे. इसको क्यों गलत बोल रहे हो? मैंने जो बताई है वही हो सकती है क्या, क्या पता और भी तो काम कर रही हूँ. ऐसे क्वेश्चन के साथ कभी भी कंफ्यूज मत होना. जनरल स्टेटमेंट है, वो चाहता भी नहीं, आपको पता होना चाहिए ये चीज. कंफ्यूज करने के लिए डाला है. वहां यूपीएससी में नहीं मिलेगा आपको ऐसा. वो बिल्कुल स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड देंगे कि वो सही है. दे डोंट वांट यू टू गो इनटू सच डेप्थ. हाउ मेनी टाइम्स अ बिल हैज बीन अमेंडेड, हाउ मेनी टाइम्स, हाउ मेनी कंपनीज आर इन्वॉल्वड. इट कैन, दिस जनरल स्टेटमेंट 1 and 3. All this. Messenger for Mercury, Voyager for solar systems outside नाम से पता चल रहा है कि वोएज करने, लॉन्ग जर्नीज. दिस इज फॉर पक्का सैटर्न के लिए तो नहीं है. देखो सर्च करो, सर्च करो, जल्दी सर्च करो. Cassini is for Jupiter. Jupiter, Saturn. Saturn. मेरे को भी कंफ्यूज कर दिया. Cassini Huygens is for Saturn. Saturn के लिए, Jupiter के लिए नहीं है. So these questions become handy when you know about the previous year questions and newspaper. That's why we have to converge both. Means you are also reading newspaper. Are you now able to find the such news if you are following the current affairs sessions? ऐसे आपको हेल्प मिलेगा. You would be able to track the news and आपका टाइम कम हो जाएगा न्यूज पढ़ने का. एंड ऑल्सो स्टैटिक रिवाइज हो रहा है साथ में. दैट इज द मेन थिंग. स्टैटिक से ही पेपर निकलेगा. Then we have solar maximum, a crucial window for space missions. Now, NASA has launched Punch, polarimeter to unify the corona and heliosphere. This will be the third major solar mission in past 18 months. One was for India also, Aditya L1. ठीक है? What is the solar cycle? In every 11 years, the sun की जो solar flares हैं, magnetic field हैं, it gets completely reverse in every 11 years. It is not like that 365 दिन होते ही आफ्टर पलट जाएगा. प्रोसेस है. 11 ईयर, सम मंथ्स भी ले सकता है, कम भी हो सकता है थोड़ा, बट जनरली 11 years it take. This is important figure. 11 years. Solar minimum, less activity. Solar maximum, more activity. You can see the black spots. These are known as dark spots or sunspots. These are cooler in nature because the solar flares they are already coming out of the surface of the sun. Solar maximum is peak activity, high sunspot count, strong solar storms. ठीक है. Solar minimum, low activity, few sunspots. And what are sunspots? Dark, cooler regions with intense magnetic fields. So these terms are important. Now, solar eruptions such as solar flares, which are also coronal mass ejections. UPSC has asked this also. CME is related to which of the following? Fine. Solar maximum में their frequency would be more and they would be disturbing GPS and all. We had already done that question and today also we will repeat it. ठीक है. Why so many solar missions now? As we discussed that it is a time of solar maximum. ऐसा मौका we will be getting after more 11 years in 2035 and 36. So now is a better time. Missions Aditya L1. What is L1? Lagrange point. What is Lagrange point? Everybody has how many Lagrange point between it? 5. Fine. L1 is not so much stable as compared to L3 and 4. ये भी आप पढ़ना है इसके बारे में. Lagrange point जहां पे ग्रेविटेशनल जो है पुल वो बैलेंस बन जाता है and means when you are standing in a cyclone and you are open, you would be swayed by the wind, but if you have two walls beside you, you would be able to concentrate on something that you want to see. Fine. So in that region, L1 would be helping you. Lagrange point. It was India's first solar mission. Solar flares, solar winds, it would be helping in understanding the magnetic fields at Lagrange point 1. Proba 3 of European Space Agency. Similarly, as we saw a question of Cassini-Huygens, a question can come like this also. Mission's name and country's name. या फिर purpose. ठीक है. And now Punch of NASA. First of its kind, it is using 4 small satellites to study about the sun's outer atmosphere corona. ठीक है. Significance क्या होगा इसका? To predict the solar storms so that Earth power grids could be protected. Aids in protecting the satellites from harmful radiation. We would be able to know that कितना effect कब हो सकता है उसका. ठीक है. Crucial for space weather forecasting because the astronauts that are going to space would be cautious about that. Fine. It helps to improve the understanding of stellar physics, astrophysics and cosmology, and these things would be taken care of. Challenges in solar research. Space weather predictions is complex phenomena because we have to regular solar activities are difficult to track on. So these would be challenges and high cost and technological problems. Still we are very far from sun, and when we cannot go near to the sun, the closest we would go is around just 1%. These 1%. Solar Parker जो है probe only 15 lakh kilometers तक जा पाया था, and we are around कितना 150 million square kilometers away from sun. Static knowledge, Lagrange point, किसी body के बीच में L1 to L5 होती है. These are stable gravitational points in space to have a better observation. Coronal mass ejections are large expulsions of plasma from the sun's surface, which can cause solar flares. Solar winds, these are continuous flow of charged particles from the sun. And India's space policy 2023 has talked about that we must encourage the private sector participation. This is a static knowledge that must be taken care of. Fine. Solve this question first, then this. Solar maximum, peak, ठीक है? Peak of solar activity. Now this, in sun, the earth and the Lagrange point L4 form very good logic, equatorial triangle, all angles perfectly aligned and able to observe. ठीक है, ऐसे क्वेश्चंस आ जाते हैं, that's why these are important. One more, we have already done this. Again try to implement those logics. Find the option, जितना बड़ा क्वेश्चन उतना आसान आंसर उसका. Tell me which option should be eliminated first. Which statement is wrong? Tell me that. Second is wrong. If you eliminate second from options, no need to read anything else. Tsunamis जो है वो उससे बहुत less likely to be related to such things. Tsunamis are due to earthquakes. Earthquakes are means how you can directly relate earthquake and solar flares. No direct relationships. So you can eliminate it and you can reach to the answer. Fine. Okay. ठीक है, चले आगे. Wallace line, as I told you that in 19th century there was an English naturalist Alfred Russel Wallace. He observed that as he moved from Asia to Australia, there was a sharp shift in species. There was just a 20-kilometer region between the Sulawesi around Australia and Indonesia. Means animals, even the birds, will not fly over that region. They will come back after this. And the birds are known for traveling thousands of kilometers and miles. So why this is happening, he was amazed. So he wanted to know that what would have happened. So he told that there is an invisible imaginary Wallace line in the Malay archipelago. What is archipelago? Group of islands running between Bali and Lombok, Borneo and Sulawesi, and curving south of the Mindanao. And this Wallace line separates the Asian and the Australian. Asian, Australian, point to be remembered. You would be confused about America and Australia, Africa and Australia, South Asia and Australia. ये याद रखना. This is the Wallace line. What is this Wallace line? Biogeographical boundary divides the Indo-Malayan and Australian ecozones, identified by Wallace in this year, 54 to 62, and it marks a sudden shift between the distribution of birds, mammals, and plants. It lays the foundation of modern biogeography, that how we must understand that why the species are migrating and why they are not migrating. Fine? Means even in the 20-kilometer distance, this is the same theory when we talk about that zigzag theory. You might have seen the continental theory, continental drift theory. Earlier we had a zigzag theory. I'm not aware about the name. Fine. Wagner. So he talks about that Africa and America, they perfectly fit because we see the similar animals in Africa's western margins and America's eastern margins. So they might have been the same unit of land. Similarly, these lands are different. How was Australia formed? Australia broke from Antarctica many billions years back. ठीक है? बताओ. Doubt. Significance of Wallace line. Explain the evolution and the natural selection theory, which was supported by Darwin. Fine. It reveals the impact of plate tectonics, that how the continental drift and these things were separating or converging with each other. It highlights the species migration patterns and also essential for conservation. We can know that which species should be brought into such area so that वो वहीं पे तो रह पाएंगे जब वो पुराने अपने वहां पे रह पा रहे होंगे, which are conservative नहीं, which are original inhabitants of that place. Key findings by Wallace, as I told you, that Borneo and Sulawesi, which are only 20 kilometers apart, these are species are very much distinct. So it is a cause of amazement for him. Sulawesi's unique fauna, not much important, but he focused upon some species. कैसे कैसे वहां पर different species like dwarf cuscus, lowland anoa, not such important, just Wallace line होती क्या है ये important है. And ancient geological factors were important. Malay archipelago is a group of 25,000 islands almost. Australia broke from Antarctica. This is an important point. And moved north towards Asia, and still our India is moving towards north. Indian plate is converging with Eurasian plate. That's why Himalayas are still growing. Ocean barriers and monsoon variations are also influencing the species migration. Point to be noted. Means this question can come also in mains. Especially for geography optional, and we see that now the UPSC is trying to bring optional questions into the normal GS paper. As we see the history question of subcontinent and geographical thing, it is from optional and it was asked in GS1. Similarly, from geography optional also questions are being asked into the paper. Asian fauna was easily movable because due to rainforest, riverine things, and they were separated. That's why they could not migrate. Fine. And this would help us into the more evolutionary understanding of species, that how they migrate, how they don't migrate, and how we evolve. ये इसमें future study में help करेगा. Fine. Static knowledge, biogeography we already done. Evolution supported by Darwin and Wallace. Plate tectonics we already know that how continents converge or diverge, due to which earthquakes and volcano happens. And conservation biology, that how it is important to understand the species movement to conserve them better. Question. Geographical boundary that divides Africa and Asia, Australia and Asia. Shift in biodiversity between Asian and Australian species, proposed by Charles Darwin. वॉलेस ने किया था ना, यूपीएससी सीएपीएफ, तो एग्जैक्टली ये चीज पूछी गई है वॉलेस लाइन. That's why it is very much important to cover from the newspaper. It is not just a trivia. ठीक है ना. Last news. So how did Israel-Palestine conflict started? How did Israel-Palestine conflict started? It is as old as our history. 600. More older, if you talk about BC period, historical proto-history time. Jews, Judaism को follow करने वाले लोग रहते थे इस एरिया में. First of all, Roman Empire plundered them in BCs. Then afterwards, 613 and around 712, what happened with India? Islamic invasions. Muhammad bin Qasim. Similarly, in 613, they were also under the influence of Islamic revolution of spreading their faith. So the problem started from that period. Then Jews, Christians, and these Islams were having the claim over this Jerusalem city, that for all three of them, they are having this holy city under Jerusalem. Then, as I told you, that British were the my-bap of everyone earlier. For any issues, people would go to Britishers. So Britishers took control over this area as well in 1900s. They said that we will control it after World War. They said that we will have a Balfour Declaration. That inside this only we must keep these people of different faith, and Jerusalem would be a common claim होगा सबका. But in 1947, UN जो है after World War II, it gave a treaty about separation. Separation होगा, but Israel जो है उसने मना कर दिया. Israel declared independence after that. And after declaring independence, it did Nakba. Nakba is catastrophe, disaster, when 7 lakh Palestinians were displaced from Israel to different states. And then Hamas was born, a terrorist organization. Whenever this happens, just like Bollywood movies, when the hero in childhood is troubled, it grows up and it becomes Gunda. Fine. So similarly, this also happened, and this would happen every time when you suppress any minority, in any case, because war is not a solution. हाँ बिल्कुल उसके बाद क्या हुआ वॉर स्टार्ट हुई सीरिया एंड इराक ट्राइड टू evade in there was a war name एक तो 6 days war थी and there was Yom Kippur war fine this was a war that was fought for these regions but finally Hamas attacked in 2023 and this we are seeing that it is all the trouble of this area so this was a brief history about this thing ठीक है अब यहाँ पे Trump announced that we will have the redevelopment of Gaza. He also shared a video, AI video of he and Netanyahu enjoying on a beach in Gaza. But Arab states came forward that they said that no, Palestinians would not go anywhere. They would have the home there only, and a Cairo declaration was found. ठीक है? Cairo declaration. So now this is by Egypt ने इसको promote किया है. All of the Arab nations are supporting it. Which other Arab nations we would see? Now they would establish a Gaza administration committee with qualified Palestinian representatives. If you want to redevelop something, the representatives should be called from that area. Now it is focusing on the two-state solution endorsement, which India is also promoting. And already UPSC has asked the two-state solution concept recently seen in news is for which countries? So it is about Israel and Palestine. So going back with the 1967 borders, East Jerusalem as their capital, fine, and it is closely related to the Arab Peace Initiative, which has UPSC asked already. So Arab Peace Initiative, Oslo Accords, Cairo Declaration, recently seen in news are all related to Israel, Palestine and not Ukraine, Russia. This must be clear. Now the Palestine unity and elections, after redeveloping, after having the structured plan, we must have elections for them. So that democracy can prevail in that area. International peacekeeping forces should be sent because we cannot trust each other military operations. So peacekeeping missions, just like we have in Africa, we must send to these places also. And rejection of forced displacement, no person should be forcefully rejected from that area, means these are historically their place also, so they must be protected there only. And this is opposing the Trump's call for Egypt, Jordan. They are saying that Egypt or Jordan they should absorb the displacement migrants from Gaza. And important data, like they would be investing this and this much. Okay, fine. They would be investing $53 billion for the reconstruction of the plant. As such, not much important from the perspective of exam, but just overview. And then Arab Peace Initiative in 2002, they were the first comprehensive plan to recognize the Israel in exchange for a Palestinian state. But Israel is not allowing this. Israel is not it is not believing that this plan would work from them. So it is against this plan. And if we want to execute this plan, we must have the assent of Israel as well. Fine. Static knowledge. It is a UN resolution of 242 which calls for Israeli withdrawal from occupied territories. So sometimes resolutions are also asked by UPSC. Oslo Accords are also related to it. Palestinian Authority PA as an interim government. And fourth Geneva Convention, it talks about that forced population transfers should not be done. Geneva Convention, Oslo Accords, Abraham Accords. Abraham Accords are related to that how Israel is having friendship with Arab nations. Fine. Challenges of implementation, Israel is rejecting. Hamas is also dicey. Like the Cairo Declaration has not uttered a single word about Hamas. And how the Israel would follow this step if the Hamas factor is the major factor. Because if it is not treated, then there would not be a peace situation there. And also, Israeli settlement expansion is expanding. Accord or the declaration has said that Israel has to move out from that area. but they are not moving out, they are expanding their presence there. So these are the challenges associated with it. Then finally, ceasefire uncertainty. We don't know when the war will over, and if war is not over, this plan would not be successful. First situation is that ceasefire should be done, then only the war could be over. Mains question. Declaration represent a renewed Arab effort toward resolving the Israel-Palestine conflict. Key provisions, challenges, and way forward. IR se bhi, you can follow this. Solve this one. Initiated by United Nations. Wrong. USA. Egypt, Arab nations. Propose a trust fund for Gaza reconstruction. Yes, $53 billion. Supports Israel settlements. No, it discourages. ये नहीं होने चाहिए. B is the answer. Any doubts? बताओ, doubt है? क्या? Initiate. इजिप्ट ने की है, बाकी अरब नेशन सब उसके साथ. यूएस का कोई रोल नहीं है. यूएस ने तो बोला था कि डेवलप करेंगे हम अपनी तरफ से. दिस डिक्लेरेशन इज अपोजिंग इट. Opposing the US plan. Fine. Last question. ये 2023 का क्वेश्चन है, and you can see Arab Peace Initiative. Israel has established a democratic diplomatic relation with some Arab states. See, some Arab state open-ended statement है. किया ही होगा ऊपर सम के साथ तो. और मैंने क्या बताया, इन क्वेश्चंस का आंसर क्या होगा? मोस्टली. ऐसा नहीं बोला कि मैंने वही होगा. मोस्टली सी या डी में से, क्योंकि बिकॉज लगाने पे उसको समझ नहीं आ रहा. बिकॉज Arab peace initiative mediated by Saudi Arabia was signed by Israel and Arab League. It was not signed by Israel because Israel is against this accord from starting itself. It is demanding that Palestinians should be taken out of this place. Abraham Accord Arab nations के साथ अच्छे relations के लिए है. It is not about Palestinian thing only. यहाँ पे है कि अरब लीग के साथ, अरब स्टेट्स के साथ और भी तो मुद्दे हैं. ये था अरब पीस इनिशिएटिव वाज स्पेसिफिकली फॉर पैलेस्टीन. पैलेस्टीन के मामले में वो एग्री नहीं कर रहा है. ठीक है, ठीक है. दैट वाज ऑल फॉर टुडे. नोट्स एंड पीपीटी एंड हैंड रिटन नहीं बन पा रहे हैं ड्यू टू टाइम कंस्ट्रेंट. टेलीग्राम चैनल पे आप देख सकते हैं, वीडियोस आपको यहाँ मिल जाएंगी. और आपको ऐसी सिचुएशन तो शायद नहीं होगी. समझ तो आया होगा थोड़ा थोड़ा सभी को. फाइन, समझ में आया तो बहुत अच्छे. ठीक है, थैंक यू वेरी मच. टेक केयर. थैंक यू वेरी मच. जय हिंद.